We're live. It's the NFL Divisional round playoff of the playoffs. Past the wild card. Go Packers. Thank God we won. I think this week is going to be a bit of a different test for us, but
Just a
let's
bit.
let's not dive into that right away. I don't want to dive into that right away. Let's start first things first. Listener League still back. I just posted it in the description of the YouTube channel. So go ahead and click on the link in the description. Join. It's $2. Top 5 win. Only 50 again. We had a lot of trouble filling it. Didn't fill until like just before kickoff last week. So only 50 this week. We're also, drum roll, going to do a dynasty league. Is it dynasty, Alex, or is it going to be redraft?
It's
Or
going to
no,
be
it's gonna
Dynasty.
we
It's
said.
going to be Dynasty, and we're going to do a startup auction. Going to make this fun.
So
We'll have more details as it comes out. We just wanted to gauge interest.
yeah, we wanted to gauge interest. I don't know if it was going to be full dynasty because Pete and I were both saying let's do some sort of keeper league.
No, full Dynasty. No. We were talking full keeper league for like the three of us doing like a friends league because none of us we don't have a league together. But
True.
for this, we're doing full Dynasty. Full Dynasty.
Okay.
And then we'll have some sort of rules with turnover with like teams that aren't good or like the bottom three get kicked out and new guys come in the year after. We'll get to it. We just wanted to gauge interest. We're going to do 12 teams. One of them will be manned by me, Mark, and Pete. So we have the 11 spots open. So tweet us. Make sure you tweet at us. Don't just say it in the chat or do whatever. Just tweet at us. Say that you are interested, and we will put you on the list.
Yes, please reach out to us if you're interested. We'll gauge, size of the league and everything else.
And if it fills up, we'll have a waiting list as well, just in case people flake out.
Yeah,
It's not going to be too expensive. I mean, we all know that the majority of you that watch the show are probably compulsive gamblers. So $50 to $100 for a league entry fee, it really isn't that big of a deal. So that's probably where we're looking at. It's going to be fun, though. You guys get to try your hands at season long against us as well, which is a whole different ball game.
Yes, it is a much different ball game. Much different ball game. But I'm sure everybody knows that. But yeah, so again, let us know. We're again trying to gauge interest as to who wants to do what, how many we can actually get in, and we'll take it from there. Let's see. Wild card weekend for you, Alex. Unintentionally unsuccessful, right?
Yeah. Wasn't feeling well. Couldn't make it.
Wasn't feeling well. Couldn't make the lineups. If you listened to our analysis last week, we did pretty well when we were talking about Antonio Brown. I think you hit on Spencer Ware.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was good if you went Ware over West, which I did in a number of lineups. My number one pick of the weekend was Reed, regardless of the secondary for the Packers. Once it was announced that Shields was out, I was all over Cousins, so that was good. Overall, a pretty good weekend for me. It was nice to.
The only person we missed really was Kelsey, I think.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on Kelsey or much else, from that game outside of their defenses, right? And I put in 7 lineups this past weekend, and 6 of them had the Chiefs D. So I was fucking pumped for throughout that entire game. Oh, that was awesome. But yeah, that was other than that, I mean, I didn't pay attention to what the other defenses scored over the weekend, but Kansas City put up 29. I think I have no idea what the other team scored, so I apologize if anyone else came close. I just didn't think so. But yeah, you're right. We kind of missed on Kelsey. Not that we dogged him. I just think we
didn't.
We overlooked him.
Just because he hasn't been involved. And then Macklin went down, and he was just really good. I mean, he was Kelsey. You were making fun of him early in the game because of that one drop, and you were
It's
Go,
not. It wasn't because of that one drop. It's because he's been doing that all season long. He's been dropping like easy short dump offs all season long, and
When
it's
you have Alex Smith throwing these little lofted like balls by like at your knees, like you're gonna miss a couple of those.
no, it's not. It wasn't. It
It's
wasn't.
out of rhythm.
Hit
You're
him in
not
the
in rhythm.
chest.
You're not in rhythm when you try to catch the ball the way that Alex Smith throws the ball sometimes.
Dude, it hit him. It hit him in his hands. It hit him in the chest. Like it was Kelsey's fault, not Alex Smith.
Okay. Either way, just and like I said over the weekend, you put him with Breeze or Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that, I guarantee you he's better than Gronk.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I
I
don't know
mean,
about being better than
we won't
Gronk,
ever.
but
He's going to be stuck in Kansas City with Alex Smith for a while. So
it also, I mean, he blew up when Macklin left, right? They
well, he was already having a good game.
started putting him. I mean, he was having a good game, but he blew up, right? They started splitting him out more. I think they
He
started.
had the one big catch where he just like hurtled.
Yeah,
Like he didn't even need to hurdle, but he did it anyway just to make it look good, and then he just ran down the sideline for about like 50 yards.
yeah. That was at that point. I was just like, "Fuck."
It was vintage Kelsey destroying the Texans defense.
He's definitely just driving it into me because I said he wasn't that good.
Yep.
Like that was my fault. Let's see. All right, so that's it for a little last week recap really quick. Heads up to those who don't know, not exactly breaking news right now, but the Rams will be in LA next season.
And Lokeland is staying in Lokeland.
Yeah, which I mean, they had a chance at LA. It's stupid if they were to go back to LA in my opinion. I think
I
San
just still don't
Diego.
understand the whole San Diego thing, where they're gonna decide if they're staying or whatever.
Well, like the NFL is giving them 100 million now if they want to build a new stadium.
But only if it's the two of them staying there, and Oakland doesn't have a lease this year. So I've heard that Oakland might just go to San Antonio. Just be like, fuck it, we're going to San Antonio.
San
So
Antonio?
there's a lot that could happen.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, they'd have to go through a whole relocation thing. Like they can't just up and move to San Antonio.
I understand, but this meeting was just for LA. Like they're gonna have another meeting about Oakland. Guaranteed.
That's interesting. Interesting. So a little bit of unrelated, non-fantasy related talk there. Did you see the New York Times article, by the way, about DFS?
No. Been kind of out of it this week.
If you get a chance, read it because it was by Jay Caspi and Kang.
Well, I know that they're allowing everybody to play again in New York.
In New York, yes, New York. So it was unrelated to that. New York got the permanent stay while the trial and everything, all the research goes on. So folks in New York can play again. But this article was about the author who started playing DFS and over the course of the NFL season ended up losing, I think it was like $1,900. And he went through and kind of voiced how beginners in DFS just get hit by sharks. And basically like and they interviewed Gabe Harper, Crazy Gaby, and it's an interesting article. I suggest you take a read at it because as someone who plays small stakes and who I guess I never really went with like head to head, so I never really was like an opportunity for a shark to kind of take me down. It was just an interesting article to read and look at how the current state of DFS may not be a sustainable business model if you're not bringing new customers in, or if all the new customers you're bringing in just get destroyed by the sharks. So if you have a chance, I highly suggest the read. There was a lot of backlash from it from a lot of the pros, but I think that's just because it calls the pros out. So it was cool to read. It was just interesting that if you lose to a shark in a head to head, don't feel bad. You're not you're not the only one. That's kind of everybody else in the world, basically. The other 99% of us. We just had a cameo appearance by Pete. Hopefully he gets back in. But let's take that and let's start talking about the first game then. Saturday's first game would be Chiefs at Pats, and Pete can hop in whenever he rejoins us. Will you have any shares of Brady this weekend, knowing that Kansas City's defense is so hot right now?
I'll have shares, but I don't like it. I actually like Kansas City's defense a lot more than I like Brady.
Ditto.
What?
Ditto. I like that,
Like
especially with how I mean, I get that they had the week's rest, but
they
that
don't
line
fit.
is still not healthy.
The
Like,
line's not healthy. They don't have they like. Is Edelman back? I'm not 100% sure. Like they.
yeah, he's allegedly gonna play with a metal plate in his shoe or his foot or something.
Okay, so that makes me feel less confident about Edelman. So they don't have an offense. Brady has looked bad lately. I don't think that like their problems were going to be fixed. God damn it, Michigan. I don't think their problems are going to be fixed. I hate you, by the way. We haven't even talked about this on the podcast. We're better than you. Why are you winning? Anyway, he hasn't been good enough, and the Chiefs defense has just been on such a roll ever since they got Sean Smith back. They have been on fire defensively. There's no I don't see a reason why they're just going to all of a sudden stop being as good as they've been.
No, exactly that. And Edelman coming back is cool and all, but he's not. And I mean, Gronk's obviously going to get his, but they're not just going to dominate the Chiefs. I mean, that pass rush is fierce. And when you only have a couple of receiving options, right, you really only have. I mean, I know Brady spreads the ball around, so you're going to see, I think, James White have a decent game too, because Brady's going to be under pressure. He's probably going to look at a lot of dump offs. But overall, I'm not anticipating, LaFell to have a big day. I'm not anticipating any outside receivers that do anything in this game. Pete, thanks for joining. We're just talking through the Chiefs-Pats game right now. Both Alex and I mentioned that we're not high on Brady. We're actually higher on the Chiefs' defense. How do you feel about that?
I think it's fair. I don't hate playing the Patriots. I think, the last time these two teams met, correct me if I'm wrong.
Just going to bring that up.
Right, was week 4 of last year, week 4 or 5?
It was
right?
It was Patriots Armageddon Day where
it was Patriots Armageddon Day.
Retire.
Everybody was telling Brady to retire, and this is, and then immediately following that, Brady has just went on a tear, which lasted all the way through the first half of this season, and just lit people up. So part of me wants to believe that this game is going to be like the Brady takes his revenge all over the Chiefs for that Week 4 disaster. But another part of me wants to believe that there was something to that Week 4 2014 disaster where the Chiefs just have his number and they know how to stop him. I mean, they really put the hurt on him, and it was both. It was mainly pass rush, honestly, is what did it, and we're seeing that continue. The Chiefs have been very strong in the pass rush. So this is sort of a tough game for me to call. I mean, it's hard to bet against the Patriots at home. It's hard to bet against arguably the best quarterback to ever play the game. But the Chiefs' defense has been freaking out of this world good.
They're so good.
Pats are also, just for those interested, Pats are favored by 5.5 here. So interesting that Kansas City continues to get, I'd say, a little disrespected, but now with Macklin out, I mean, you're looking at Kelsey. Do we think Sharkhandrick actually looks better this week than last week?
I don't know. I would probably put my money on Ware. Just looked like the better back again.
He did. Everything all right there, Pete?
Definitely frozen. Bye, Pete.
He's-
See you in a little bit. No, Ware just
hands up in disgust, and then it's like, uh-oh, what happened?
I thought Ware just looked better running the ball. I think Charkandrick is obviously the better back catching the ball out of the backfield, but I think if this is going to be a close defensive game, you're going to see a lot more Ware than you're going to see Charkandrick. And early in the game, they realized that, and Ware started to get a lot more first and second downs than Charkandrick was getting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that continues just because he ran so much better than he did. So I don't unless Ware just hits a wall early, then Ware's the guy this week for the run. For at least if you're going to take a Chiefs running back, you're going to take Ware.
So let's
take 3
on. Hey, he's back. A touch on Pats then. I see some questions in the chat, and I think Peters and Smith are the Chiefs' 2 outside defensive backs. I can't remember the name of their slot defensive back, but he's been pretty decent this, the second half of the year.
See, but in a game like this, I could see them using Peters and Smith different,
Inside.
not just
I don't know. They don't shadow.
No, I know they don't, but a little bit, like a little
Like-
more than they're just because they have to game plan. Just because the Patriots don't have outside receivers,
Right.
they don't.
Well, they have them. They're just not any good.
Exactly. Exactly what I meant. They don't have outside receivers, so they have to use them to the best of their ability, and I think that they will do that.
So, Pete.
Remember, this is a lot of these people. A lot of the defensive staff from the Chiefs came from the Jets, and this was during the time when Revis was a monster.
Right.
Revis was shadowing people all over the field. They know that that works, and they know that it works when they need it to work. I feel like maybe they're either saving it for this week or for weeks that they need it now down the playoffs where there's not as much tape on it because they got away with what they were doing all season. And that this is one of those weeks that they unleash it because they have the personnel to do it.
So, Pete, out of LaFell, Amendola, Edelman, Gronk, White, who are you targeting on the Pats side of the ball?
I mean, it's got to be Gronk, right? Like,
So, okay, let's take
it's
Gronk.
hard-
Let's take
okay,
Gronk
so-
out of that question because that was too easy.
right.
Everybody else.
Somebody else.
Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess. So first of all, to be totally honest, I'm not completely up to date on the Edelman injury situation. Where's he at?
He's wearing a plate in his shoe.
According
And he's playing, right?
Yeah, according to RotoWire, he's likely playing, but if he hits 70%, that's a high percentage of snaps. So it's not.
I've
really
also heard that
anticipated
before.
He'll hit 70%.
To me, that sounds like some Patriot mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. You could either play 10% of the snaps or 100.
I sort of think if I'm playing a Patriots wide receiver, I think I'm rolling the dice on Edelman. So basically, it comes down to how much risk tolerance can you stomach. Like, Edelman could play like 8 snaps and do nothing and put up a 0, or he could be Edelman and have a huge day. 9 catches for 78 yards and like a score or 2. So
That's usually his 2-score stat line.
right, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think if I'm playing a Patriots receiver, I'm rolling the dice with Edelman, and I probably will make a Brady Edelman stack. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't really particularly like Amendola that much as a value play if Edelman is back, just because Amendola is just as big of a dice roll, and if I'm gonna roll the dice, I'd rather do it with Edelman.
I would call Amendola more of a dice roll in general.
Yeah, I totally agree, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather take, like, give me the upside guy who has a chance to win. Who has a chance to win the thing for me, and honestly, maybe won't have that big of an ownership percentage as well.
What about on the other side of the ball, Alex, taking a shot with an Albert Wilson or Chris Conley, assuming Macklin doesn't play? Because Macklin magically now has a mild high ankle sprain. So, I mean, he's probably not playing, so let's just assume that.
Assuming that, yeah, I like Albert Wilson, especially the money he can save you. What is he, like 4,000 or something around there?
He's 38, and Conley's three flat.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather play Albert Wilson just because he's a more complete receiver in this offense right now. I think Conley has more talent in the future, but right now Albert Wilson has shown more in this offense, has a little bit more chemistry with Alex Smith, and Smith has started to show that he needs to throw to a wide receiver for this team to be successful. Macklin was his first 1,000-yard wide receiver in Kansas City, so he needs that, and the only way that they're going to win is if he includes them, especially if their defense doesn't do what their defense usually does. They're going to start bracketing Kelsey, they're going to stop the run game, and the ball is going to have to go to one of these receivers. So I personally would pick Albert Wilson, especially at that price, or he's going to save you so much money elsewhere. You can fit in guys like Gronk and David Johnson and guys that we want in other games.
All right, let's move on to the next game. The night game on Saturday is Packers at Cardinals. So the Packers with a short week, traveling essentially cross-country into Arizona, where they just got beat by 30 points. Arizona's favored by, I think, 7 in this game right now. Pete, last game they played, I believe, I admittedly, lost interest.
Yeah, it didn't go too well.
David Johnson.
But you know what? Good call by you. You said to play the Cardinals' defense all over the place. and I actually went with you on a couple. I played them in a couple different spots, and you were right. They were like the week's highest scorer almost.
Yeah,
last
they
week.
had 2 touchdowns.
9 sacks.
2 touchdowns, 9 sacks. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Limited them to 8 points. I mean, yeah, it was our offensive line was pure crap. It's
Yep.
still not much better, but it's better now than it was before. But
Play the Redskins. Let's pump the brakes.
I'm not saying they're anything good, but they're better now than they were that week for sure.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is not saying much.
I think you're getting an angry Cardinals team that got their asses kicked in Week 17 by their divisional rival, that lost Tyrann Mathieu and wants to make a statement that they're the best team in football. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think this is an ugly game for Green Bay. I think this is you play a lot of Cardinals and you have fun. David Johnson. So to answer your question, you were asking about David Johnson, right?
So last game he went 9 for 39 with a touchdown on the ground, 3 for 88 through the air. So he scored you 21 points.
On offense.
Right.
Carson,
Because they didn't have to.
Carson,
Right.
They're going to have to do a little more.
12 for 25, 100 yards. Oh no, sorry, that was last week. 18 for 27, 265, and 2 scores. Right. So
Wasn't that the one was to John Brown, the other was to I forget.
Floyd, wasn't it?
It was Fitz.
wasn't it Nelson? No.
Oh yeah, it was. No, he hit Nelson on like a long one or something.
No, Fitz was Week 17. Yeah, I guess.
So
Sure.
are you going to target Pete the Arizona ground game? Are you going to do passing game with a Palmer somebody stack, or are you going to do a massive Cardinals stack?
I mean, honestly, I was a big champion of the David Johnson, Michael Floyd stack, like for the last 5 weeks of this season.
Yeah, me and Pete have been rolling David Johnson and Michael Floyd.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's such an enticing stack. Like it has such potential. And what's Floyd's price this week?
It's like 51.
5,100.
Yeah, so it's not terrible. I mean, it's still, to me, that's still a pretty good stack to roll. This is a tough one. I mean, I sort of, again, like the Floyd Johnson stack. I'll explain why. The last time this matchup happened a few weeks ago, Floyd actually had a great game. I mean, it was completely overshadowed by David Johnson going off, but in a game where the Cardinals were way ahead, he still had something like, 7, 8 catches for, I think, in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 yards. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the week before.
No, he had a good game against the Packers.
I know he did, but he didn't, I think Philly had, he was just under the 100-yard mark.
Mhm.
He didn't score the touchdown on the goal line kind of thing.
I think he had a pretty good game
Oh,
against.
no, he went 6 for 111 against Green Bay.
Yeah, and that was a game where it was completely out of hand. Floyd didn't even play the entire fourth quarter. In fact, I think they sat him down with somewhere like 3 minutes left to go in the third. So, the stack that I want to use in this game, I want to play like a Palmer Floyd Dijon stack, maybe with the Cardinals defense and have a party.
Yeah, because keep in mind, David Johnson's an extra receiver too. He runs the ball and he runs it very well, but at the same time he catches the ball just as well out of the backfield, and that helps Palmer.
Legit, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, was just gonna say that David Johnson is just as likely to score through the air than on the ground. It's not like one or the other where you're playing David Johnson, he's gonna run the ball in. You could get it through the air, you could get it on the ground, you could get both. So it's not gonna hurt Palmer if Dijon does really well. Go ahead.
Right. Well, no, all I was going to say is, and this is sort of just more for fun, do you remember, I always make the joke about Super Tecmo Bowl players.
Yes.
You guys ever play Super Tecmo Bowl, way back in the day for Nintendo? What you could do is you could just stack the hell out of one of the stats, and I would always make it on break tackle, right? So you just have this guy, it was this little pixelated, you know what it looked like? It looked like a white turd running on the screen, and just it would go, and you'd hear that sound effect too, when he ran into somebody who was trying to tackle him. So he'd be slow as shit because you could only stack one stat, right? He could barely catch the ball. He had no agility, so you couldn't outmaneuver somebody. But literally everything that tried to tackle him, it just So what I was gonna say is I always make the joke about guys who are hard to tackle. I say they're my Super Tecmo Bowl team. They're my Super Tecmo Bowl character. David Johnson legitimately is. And he's fast. So he has all of that break tackle of the white turd on the screen, but he's also got other stats. That's what makes him so crazy. You have to play him. He's Super Tecmo Bowl, but better.
So
All right, that's all I have to say about that.
So obviously you guys are high on the Cardinals, and
Very high.
for good reason. I will disagree that an angry Cardinals team is going to come in because they didn't need that win, week 17.
They also don't need to be angry to beat
Yeah,
the
but
Packers.
like
No offense, Mark.
No, I'm saying though, but like I don't think that really like making a statement. I don't think none of that matters. I think what they're going to do. I'm not saying Green Bay is going to win by all means. I'm not saying that. I think the Cardinals do work, but I don't see another 30-point loss coming our way.
I don't. It may not be a statement game, but it is. Not like the statement game that me and Pete are trying to make it sound like, but they are going to make a statement.
What statement is that?
They're the best team in football.
Which they might be.
I think they are. I don't really think like anything crazy is going to happen this weekend. I think that they're going to just do work like they normally do.
Yeah, but
a 30-20 game or something like that at the end of it.
No, I think it's going to be more like a 31-14 type game.
It's not that much different, but okay.
It's really not. That's like
bigger statement when
it's
you're
like a field goal.
when you're doubling up the other team.
So
or like a
Packers
35. I meant 35-7. Whatever, doesn't matter. But I just think that it's.
You know what, Chris Rossi? I'm high on life. Screw you.
So on the Packers side of the ball, are you guys targeting anybody?
Well, Devontae's out, right?
Devontae is more than likely out, yeah.
Jimmy Jones.
Yeah, maybe not so much James Jones.
I played him last week and he was a good play.
I don't hate the Starks play.
If you're playing anybody on the Cardinals this week, I think it's Jimmy Jones.
Packers.
I don't hate the
Yes,
Starks.
that's what I meant, sir. What did I say? Playing anybody on the starts?
The Cardinals.
I also don't hate, depending on who gets that role, Aberdaris or Janis, as like a flyer this week, a cheap flyer to fit in.
So I could see the big thing with me. I like Cobb a lot because they started getting him involved, right? I mean, he was in the backfield. He got 5 carries last week.
Yeah, he did get some carries.
You could tell that Mike McCarthy.
Back in the first half.
Mike McCarthy was finally saying, okay, let's do 2 things that we did last year and haven't done at all this year. One is finally go up tempo again, and number 2 is get Cobb involved by any means necessary, right? And Cobb was involved to the point of, I mean, Rodgers missed him on a touchdown pass, but again, short passes, tosses, stuff out of the backfield. Getting him involved, and I think that he's going to be a focal point again. So I like Cobb, to do better this week than the other receivers, right? I don't think because James Jones, Janis is just a straight line speed guy. I honestly think Aberdaris steps in for Devontae Adams, but I think both of them have much tougher matchups on the outside than Cobb will on the inside. So I think Cobb's the best receiver there. I had a lot of Starks last week against Washington, and to be honest, I think I'm off. I feel like I want to be off both running backs this week, just
especially with Cobb leading the team in carries through the first half.
There was that, but they were also a dead split, 12 carries each. Not to mention John Kuhn got work in there.
Kuhn.
That backfield is just tough. Very tough to predict, and they siphoned each other's touchdowns. Lacey had a huge run to get him inside the 5. Stark siphoned the touchdown, and the opposite happened later on in the game. So it was like
all I'm saying is I would rather play Starks over Lacey in that argument. I didn't mean to say that I want to play a lot of Starks, but if I'm going to play one or the other, I'm going to take the guy that's going to catch more passes.
Exactly, I'll agree with you 100% there. I like Starks over Lacey for that exact reason. Rodgers Cobb potential contrarian stack?
No, thank you.
I'd rather play Rodgers Jimmy Jones potential contrarian stack.
Jimmy Jam. All right. Let's
want to play Rodgers because this defense scares the shit out of me. As far as the Packers offense is concerned, that they don't have a line that's going to protect Rodgers, and it's going to get out of hand.
That's fine, but you're going to see him throw 40 plus times. I don't mind it. Let's move on to Seattle at Carolina. Next game, that's the Sunday 1 o'clock game. We saw these two teams meet earlier in the year, but it was at Seattle. And this, I think, was, let's see, week 6. So kind of prior to Seattle really, their defense kind of hitting more of their stride.
And they're
But
offense hitting their stride.
that too. But we saw Cam throw for 269, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, ran for a touchdown as well, though. With, again, like we've been saying all year, with no one really on the outside and only Greg Olsen sitting there for him to throw to, we think Pete Cam has a big week, crappy week. Is he a core play, fade? What are your thoughts on him?
I think it's a Cam Olsen stack this week. I think that's a very good play. I think he has a huge week. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of with Alex on this. Like, let's be honest, he's been the best player in football all season long by a long shot.
I think more since week 6 on, because like early they were calling him the MVP, and it really wasn't there. He was doing well and getting them wins, but from week 6 on, he just went to a different planet. That's when he became the actual MVP. Because before that, he was okay. They weren't like destroying teams. They were playing bad teams and just winning easily. And then now
they're destroying teams.
Now
And you know who looked real good last week? Devin Funchess actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, see, this is, for me, I think I'm going to play a bunch of naked Cam. Or play Cam with different receivers, because he's got, the past couple weeks, guys that have touchdowns from him, Olsen, Ginn, Funchess, Kotchery, Billy Brown, like, it's crazy.
The Funchess point wasn't so much to say, like, you have to go out and play Funchess. The Funchess point was just to point out, like, he has people who are making plays, you know?
Yeah, he's so many options. He's got Philly Brown and Ted Ginn can go deep. They can play the outside. Kotchery is, from Justin, he's a great, like, possession 2-3 hybrid kind of guy where he can get down the field if you need him to, but he's just going to really catch the ball intermediate area. Funchess is basically just he's too small to play tight end, but he's too big to play receiver, so he's just another one of those hybrid 2 tight end types. And then you have Olsen, who's one of the best tight ends in football. So he has a lot of different types of players to make a lot of different types of throws, plus the rushing yardage that he can get at home. First playoff game coming off of one of the best seasons we've seen from a football team. I don't think Seattle can stop them. Because I think the only reason that they went through is because Michael Bennett just got through the Minnesota line all game over the weekend.
All day long, yeah.
Well, and Blair Walsh missed a chip shot.
And that whole missed 27-yard field goal.
How dumb would you feel? Sorry, Blair Walsh, but come on, dude, make a field goal.
The Carolina running game, complete fade.
Yeah.
If Stewart's not playing, I'm fading that run game.
Okay. Now let's hop to the other side. Similar story here, right? Russ. Let's go all the way back to when they played. Let me look up his stats. 18 of 30.
He wasn't very good.
240 for a touchdown. 8 for 53 on the ground. So not terrible, but not great.
This was in that range where he was becoming like the biggest bust at quarterback of the year.
You know, honestly, what I see this game, when I look at this game and I try to think it through, I see this game being a lot like when Pittsburgh came to Seattle. You know, this is what happens when teams can score on Seattle. It's a shootout because Seattle can score too. And I mean, Carolina's defense, while it has been phenomenal all season long, to me, the past few games looks like it has taken a step back. So, I mean, I think on the other side of the ball, because that was your initial question, right, Mark, looking at the other side of the ball,
yeah,
I think you can use a lot of the Seattle skill players. Like, I'm not really afraid of the Josh Norman treatment. I don't think he's on Baldwin the whole time. Baldwin lines up all over the place. So I think you can
Norman does follow.
Not into the slot, though. Norman doesn't go inside.
I mean, and Baldwin's even been lining up in the backfield. So, like, Norman won't follow him there either, I don't think. Slot and backfield, I think, you know, he will not have the Josh Norman treatment.
And you saw in Minnesota even, I mean, Wilson seems to target Baldwin and a lot now. You know, this last quarter of the season, obviously, target him in the red zone even, right? I mean, he's going to get the touchdown catch if there is one to be had, it looks like. And Russ, let's see, taking this past Minnesota game out, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row where he scored you 25 points or more on DraftKings. Sorry, 21 points or more on DraftKings. I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Significant, yeah.
And like we've said, I mean, now you've got Ben Wickery on Carolina's defense going for the season, Tillman going for the season. You've got Norman, and then you've got some other guy and some other guy. So
you got Norman and some guys. There's some guys.
Who the hell knows lining up, across from Baldwin. So I like Baldwin in that matchup. And who knows? I mean, Lockett, you could see Norman probably. I mean, he's not going to follow him all over the field, but he'll pick him up some of the time, right? So your Seattle receiver, Alex, who's your favorite there? It's got to be Baldwin, no?
I mean, it has to be Baldwin, but I think the low-key answer to that is Curse. I thought Curse played pretty well over the weekend. I mean, he didn't really get a ton of targets, but it was freezing. This is going to be a completely different game. It's going to be warmer weather. They're going to be able to throw the ball. They're not just going to be like running up to the line and falling over each other because it's so cold that they can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And Curse has become a much bigger part of this offense over the last couple weeks of the season, and I mentioned him a bunch of times. He's important, especially if Baldwin can't get open, and Lockett they use him a little bit more gadgety than a real receiver. Curse is going to be the guy that goes out on those is going to be that second passing option when Baldwin can't get open and the play isn't really designed for Lockett. So I think that he can get 8 targets in this game, especially if they're down.
Quickly reminding everyone of why did they build an outside stadium in Minneapolis? All right, go ahead. Sorry.
They're only using it. The stadium comes back in 2 years? They get the new indoor one,
right? I think
they're playing at University of Minnesota.
They're playing at the Gopher Stadium. Okay, so let's see. Any thoughts on if Marshawn plays? Are you guys going to go after him?
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I don't care.
$400 for him. I mean, that's just too high for someone who
isn't playing ever.
Who isn't playing, and even if he does, do you really want to use him?
Yeah, is he going to get 50% of the snaps? Probably not. The funny thing is Christine Michael hasn't looked terrible. It's kind of funny.
Don't even start me on Christine Michael.
I am so
Good
much.
God.
But he didn't look terrible week 17 at least, and I mean last week was just who knows what last week was. Last week was dumb.
Last week wasn't bad, but I mean running into Sharif Floyd and Linval Joseph is pretty tough on any running back.
In negative degree weather. So.
In -3 degrees or 5 degrees, whatever it was.
I think the most impressive part is that he didn't break bones.
None of them. All right, let's move on to the last.
I don't think temperature necessarily makes your bones more brittle, does it? I mean, I'm not
just
not a doctor or anything.
Something. I don't know.
Seems like some sketchy science there.
It definitely hurts more. That's for sure.
All right, let's see. Let's move on to Pittsburgh at Denver. Obviously, a lot of question marks on the Pittsburgh side of the ball. Rumor that Bleacher Report told me earlier today was
cool.
Ben relayed optimism that he was going to play.
What does that even mean? All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm literally reading
relay some optimism to you.
I'm reading off of RotoWire right now. But he then said he has torn ligaments in his right shoulder in addition to the AC joint sprain. How in the hell is he playing if he's got torn ligaments and a joint sprain on Saturday?
No, I remember I texted you because I separated my shoulder in high school, and I'm not comparing the two, but he did the same thing with his shoulder that I did with mine once it happened. As soon as you separate that shoulder, that arm gets locked, right angle, stays against your stomach until you get to the hospital, and he could not move it as long as he was on screen until he went to the locker room. I couldn't move my shoulder for about 4 weeks without wanting to cry. And I get Ben Roethlisberger is much tougher than I am, but at the same time, it's going to be very tough for him to throw a ball like he normally does with that kind of damage under your shoulder. Plus, he probably has more damage than what I did. Like I separated it. I think I was just shy of a grade 3 separation. He tore ligaments in addition to that. He's not going to throw the ball. Antonio Brown is most likely not going to play. This offense is the avoid of the week, in my opinion. And we've been on them all year. You can't touch them this week because you don't know what's going to happen.
I was like hollering for him to throw the ball left-handed. Like, go back in there and throw it lefty. Come on, you can do it.
It was bad enough. He looked like he was throwing it lefty with his right hand, though. I mean,
Yeah.
he couldn't throw it further than I could lefty. I mean, it was ugly. He was throwing up lame pizzas.
That's another thing I said.
AJ McCarron was slinging pizza balls without.
AJ McCarron was best pizza tosser.
Until he put the glove on, he was just the ball was just floating in the air.
All ducks. It was all pizza tossing.
Say what you want about Peyton Manning. I remember in the 2006 Super Bowl where they beat the Bears, those bastards. There was this big pre-game story. They're like, Peyton Manning has been out here with a bucket full of water, dunking his hands and footballs in the bucket full of water for 5 hours, and he's got it down. AJ McCarron comes out there, is like, yeah, I didn't really like the glove. 2 plays later, throws a long pick. That's the difference, dude. Just go and prepare. How hard is it?
And get ready.
And then he's on the sideline and he's got the gloves on, which probably Marvin Lewis came over and said, "Put these on." You dumb.
And then he looked good.
Oh, God,
and then he looked all right. Yeah.
Better.
Do you think he even honestly tried with the gloves pregame? Because I kind of think he didn't.
Can you guys first time out, Mark? Stop fucking making shots. Your team isn't that good. You guys can't miss.
What is Mark making shots for? What is he making shots for?
It's Maryland's playing Michigan right now, and we're down 8. 3 minutes left.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
So
yeah, college basketball.
So I'd agree, right? Pittsburgh, big avoid, big fade. I mean, obviously keep your eye out on all the injury reports, but right now you have Ben potentially missing, D'Angelo potentially missing, and Antonio Brown potentially missing.
Out of those 3, I've heard the most likely to not play is actually D'Angelo.
And I don't think Antonio Brown's playing.
But you know what? Fitzgerald Toussaint.
He looked pretty good.
You can play him. You can use him because Landry Jones is going to be doing a lot of that.
Dumping off.
A lot of that dump off play.
But
he'll sling the occasional pizza, but it's going to be a lot of.
Did get more. I mean, he caught 4 balls for 60 yards, so he got.
He did all right.
Didn't have a single catch, so he got more receiving work than I anticipated. To be honest with you, I mean, he caught I think it was something like 30 balls over his 3-4 years of playing at Michigan. So, I mean, he wasn't really a heralded receiver out of the backfield, but
he looked good.
Hey,
do you know,
he looked pretty decent.
In sort of the Matrix glitch of the week, have you guys seen the movie The Revenant?
No, but it won a ton of awards, I saw.
It's damn good. I'm not going to give anything away, but it was really funny because I played the hell out of Fitzgerald Toussaint this week in Daily Fantasy, and there are 2 characters in The Revenant. One of them, his name is Fitzgerald, and then there's a French trader named Toussaint, spelled exactly the same.
Get out of here!
No, I'm not even kidding. It's like, holy shit! It's a sign from God. It's a message from God. We got to play Toussaint this week.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I'm telling you, it is. It's a message from God. I went and saw it, and I'm like, all right, I'm playing the hell out of Fitzgerald Toussaint this week.
That's awesome. All right, so let's flip to the other side of the ball, assuming
Broncos defense.
Well, yeah, that's a given, right? With all the question marks around.
They're going to be about 60 to 70% owned this week because all the defenses are so close to each other. It doesn't matter which one you play. It's basically pick 'em. They're all.
We thought that last week too, and then the Chiefs just fucking stomped everybody.
No. But what I'm saying is when you're making lineups, we couldn't do what we did last week, where you just play the Packers to get some extra money. This week, you have to just pick whatever defense you want because it's not like they're far enough apart where one will really make a difference. They're all what 4,000 to.
It's 34 to 41.
Yeah, the highest is 4,000, 41 with the Seahawks, and the Packers are 34. You have $700. It's not going to really get you all that much.
So, in terms of Denver playmakers, if Peyton's throwing the ball, does that really make you want to actually go to Ronnie Hillman?
I don't hate Peyton this week. I really don't. I think he's
Okay,
healthy.
so then
He looked
who
better.
would you pair him with?
Demarius.
Not Emmanuel Sanders against his old
I would,
team
I
who
would do
ripped them
both.
apart last time.
I would rather have Demarius, personally. Just
No, he ripped them apart, but he ripped them apart with what's his name throwing him the ball?
Osweiler.
Brock
Yeah.
Osweiler.
The thing, Pittsburgh's defense is still terrible.
Yeah, it's still no bueno.
Yep.
Defense.
I like the
They
DT
get
play a
better all
lot.
of a sudden.
I
They played Cincinnati with McCarron, who played only a half of a game because he didn't have a glove on.
Let's remember that with Tim Tebow under center, Demaryius Thomas ripped apart Pittsburgh the last time the two met in the playoffs.
That too, and they were a better defense then.
Yeah. I like the DT play.
With Manny, he needs
Played
to
in Broncos.
Manny needs to catch more balls to have a really good game. Demarius can catch 3 balls and get 170 yards and 2 scores.
Honestly, the only thing that concerns me about playing the Broncos is that this game could, if Ben is out, I mean, really, he's the only one. Forget Antonio. You could have Antonio playing. If Ben is out, this could be one-sided pretty quick.
Yeah, and then you would want to play CJ or Hillman because that's really all the offense.
Touchdowns. Yeah.
Not only that, right? The reason why I said does it lean you towards their run game was because when Peyton came in Week 17, he handed the ball off. I mean, he only threw the ball 9 times, and he handed the ball off, I want to say 60 to 70% of the snaps. So, you know, I'm not saying he had to do much more, but
And Gary Kubiak is like the least creative person on the face of the earth.
I'm
So,
not.
like, if they get up, it's just going to be carry the ball time.
Yeah, I'm not
Peyton's
thinking
hurt
Peyton
and
is
old.
really going to throw the ball 40 times. I mean, it's not going to be a typical Peyton from Indianapolis playoff game, you know?
You guys ever have that kid, like, in your class, like in high school or college, who looked like he was, like, 30 years older than he actually was?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
Peyton. Like, that's Peyton. So, like, you know, if they're up, they're gonna like he's like 40, but he looks like he's 60. If they're up, they're gonna throw to protect the 60-year-old man, or they're gonna run. Sorry, to protect the 60-year-old man.
I think he's still going to sling it. This probably more than likely is his last run. They're going to let him throw the ball a little bit more than you think they are.
Any
We're up
love
20, but I'm throwing the ball.
for Heath?
Can you guys get a fucking...
If Roethlisberger plays, then sure, you can play Heath. But if Roethlisberger doesn't play, then I'm not a. I'm.
Yeah, if Roethlisberger plays, I'm going to play some Toussaint and maybe a little Martavis just because he looked so good last week. He was...
I'm telling you, dude, it's a message from God. You got to play Fitzgerald Toussaint
Can we
and play that guy. You got to give him some reps.
can we get on to the Martavis thing? Like, how good did he look? The catch he made for the touchdown.
Dude, he's mad good.
The run.
that run.
Touchdown was like just
No.
bizarre. I don't know how you can rule that a touchdown.
You know what that
That's
run was?
not.
That run was if you stack agility and Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't touch him. He went like let's call this the line of scrimmage. He went like this, and then he went all the way around like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what they call the cheap telestrator.
Yeah, that is the T. I wish I
Point
had
at the camera.
That'd be
That'd be
much
so
fun to
cool.
do that.
Yeah. I just draw dicks all over them.
Oh god.
But no, I mean,
Turn
what?
back into
Of
a
course,
fun
that was a touchdown. That was incredible. The ball didn't move from his thigh.
You know what? That's what I want to do. I want to get a fund together. Like, you know, you can donate to the fund, and the fund is called John Gruden Telestrates Dicks Fund. Like, that's what I want to. I want to do that. That should be a thing. Like, that should be a real thing. Like, raise money so that John Gruden will telestrate dicks on, like, Monday Night Football.
Oh god.
You see what you got here. I can't do a Gruden impression.
Yeah, let's not.
But that would be great. Like, that really needs to happen.
Not. All right. Last question: Hillman or Anderson in that game?
Probably Hillman.
Probably.
I feel like Peyton trusts him a little bit more. But CJ had a really good year last year when Peyton was playing well.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, the running back situation is so ugly. Like, you should just play Fitzgerald Toussaint everywhere.
Dude,
I don't hate it.
I went with him this past weekend.
D.
Just
Johnson Toussaint.
as I was playing him, I thought of you, Pete, and I thought of it's the minutes argument.
Those might be my 2 running backs in every lineup I make. Toussaint and D. Johnson, nobody else. Like, who else do you even want to use? Christine Michael, maybe? Not really.
You don't want to use Fat Eddie?
You know?
That was facetious, but
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of something clever to say about how Fat Eddie like sucks donkey balls, but I couldn't come up with anything.
Oh, I hate you, Mark.
Oh.
Did the Terps just lose to somebody not as good as
It's
them?
the game tying 3.
Yep.
Balls.
Wow.
Well, that's what happens when you name your team after a turtle.
Yeah,
Let it be known.
that's fine.
For your sake, Alex, I won't bust out the fight song.
Oh, that's so
I
We
wouldn't-
will
I
fight
wouldn't dare.
for. I don't even know the Michigan.
I'll go offline before I start singing it.
I will mute you.
I'm just not that invested in college basketball. I don't know why. Like I can't. I can't. I'm an Illini fan, but I just don't.
But I
Don't.
mean, I still pay attention.
I just don't care. I don't care.
Don't care.
No.
Don't care. All right.
Still don't care.
I mean, it becomes more fun when you go to a school like Maryland or Michigan because every sport matters. So it just becomes more fun to I guess.
What are you trying to say about University of Illinois? You're trying to
You
say
guys
that
aren't very good, is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
we were good back in the day. We were pretty awesome in basketball. Football, I don't know what they're doing.
No, but Ron Zook came up to be the Packers special teams coordinator, and we've done okay. So, thanks, Ron.
Did we ever answer the Hillman versus CJ Cat question?
We think we both said sort of Hillman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
they're both good though. Like they could both go off. So I mean, it's not safe to play either, but either could be a good play. Last time they played against San Diego, and I'm not saying that San Diego's that much worse than Pittsburgh, to be honest. But they both had 15 carries. Hillman went for 117. CJ went for 95. They both got in the end zone. I mean, I also don't hate making a lineup that is based around both Hillman and CJ with the Broncos defense and seeing what you could do from there.
Did you guys talk at all about the St. Louis thing, by the way, before I came in?
Yeah, just a bit.
We touched on it briefly because it doesn't really.
Doesn't do anything.
It doesn't make me moist. There's nothing really exciting about it.
I want a St. Louis team to play in the AFC South. That's what I want. I just call it an expansion team. I think that'd be interesting. That would actually legitimately
in that shitty division.
Exactly, it would be the shit division. You can call it the AFC shit division. But they're centrally located between Houston, Indianapolis, Tennessee. You just put a team right there in St. Louis and let them play in the AFC shit division.
Dumpster fire.
Move Oakland to St. Louis.
Oh, there you go.
But then
St. Louis riots. That's what
would Houston move into the AFC West then? They would just flip.
No, they'd just stay in the AFC South.
Why would you have?
Then you'd have to have a bye week every single week.
You have to move some.
Okay, then have another expansion team in South Dakota, so you can have a legit South Dakota team.
Superchargers, yeah. All right.
South Dakota Buffalo.
That's it for us tonight.
Wait, we gotta make a lineup. Let's make one quick.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I got your lineup. You ready? Here you go. We already know the running backs: Toussaint and D-Johns.
Yeah, Mark, it's really easy. We'll make one quick.
QB Naked Cam.
Naked Cam.
All right. I don't know how much money I have left over, so I'm doing this.
We're playing Michael Floyd in the Broncos.
Playing Michael Floyd in the Broncos D. So now we need a tight end and 2 receivers.
Got to fill 3 slots. Just put it up.
Hold on. Give me a
is
fucking
great.
chance. Naked Cam.
Can we fit DT in this lineup? I wonder?
D-Johns and Fitz.
Let's
Broncos
break on DT for this
and
one.
Floyd
You said who? Floyd?
and Broncos D.
Broncos D.
I like how we're doing this without even looking.
Yeah, I mean,
Olsen, let's put Olsen in there, and then we're gonna have to go real cheap everywhere else, though.
well, hold on. Before we put in Olsen,
No, that would not be a Naked Cam, actually.
Yeah, we're going Naked Cam.
You've got. Let me pull that out.
Yeah, we gotta see how much money we have.
Share it out.
Mark's closing all of his. There we go. Yeah, we got some money. Let's do tight end and then let's figure everything else out. Do we want to drop a Kelsey up in this beast? No, not really. I don't know who else to play.
All right, let's go to wide receiver first.
It's one of the top 3. It's got. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know who else
It's
you're
gotta
going
be.
to tight end outside of the top 3.
maybe Richard Rodgers.
No.
Even then.
Okay, so we need to save some money here. How much is Sharkhandrick West this week?
55.
I would rather play
How
Ware.
about,
Cheaper.
how about him in the? Yeah,
Why
but
don't we put Ware in the slot?
what's his injury status? Did you guys look at it already?
Who,
No.
Ware? Sprained ankle.
Yeah, that's
in
sort
the
of
first
frightening.
bit of injury. I mean, he played the whole game.
All right, let's come back to him. Let's come back to him.
I wouldn't
Maybe
mind
we'll
throwing
play
him in the flex.
I don't hate it either, so maybe we'll come back to him.
Could put Baldwin in that matchup, or Curse if you want to put Curse in. Or
I'd honestly rather play Lockett because we need to save money as well.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Let's put Curse in for this lineup.
Okay.
Let's put Curse and Albert Wilson in and see what we can do. Gronk plus.
This is the dirtiest lineup I've ever seen in my life.
Look at this.
Gronk and DT.
And then whoever you want.
DT.
And then we can even upgrade somewhere.
Let's
go
upgrade
back and
Wilson or
see.
Curse because that's making me want to puke.
I mean, you could put James Jones in. You can
Yeah, there you go. Jimmy Jones. Could you put James
Wait,
Jones
wait,
in
wait,
here?
wait, wait. I have an idea.
Could not.
Take out DT. Put Edelman in. He's up.
Prefer the DT play,
Me too.
All right, yeah, I guess put DT back in.
especially with Gronk. Put DT back in. And you know what we could do here? We could have some real fun. Let's go back and put Curse in instead of Wilson. Or wait, no, put James Jones in. Sorry. Because I saw a thing I think we could do. Let me look. Okay. Now, I wanted to play. I don't think I can do it.
Throw Hillman in.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Throw in Hillman and have a party. Boom. And you have sort of a Broncos stack
And
against
you can put in Edelman if you want.
them. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about
Hillman,
DT.
or if you drop from James Jones down to Curse or Wilson,
That's a good lineup, though.
You could upgrade Hillman to Ware.
That's legit a good lineup, though. I want to play that
Yeah.
lineup.
Well, I'm gonna definitely make a bunch of variations of this where we're gonna use those top 4 guys and the Broncos defense. Trust me and Pete are gonna have a lot of fun with that 5 as like a lock in the lineup and just put in whatever options we can think of.
Right.
Wait, what 5?
Cam,
David,
Dijon's, Tucson,
Lloyd
and Broncos.
Lloyd Broncos. All right, there we have it. A nice quick lineup for everybody.
Touchdown!
We did also, Pete, touch on the Dynasty League.
Okay. I thought we were, for the listener league, I thought we were going to just do a regular league because there's going to be a lot of turnover, not Dynasty.
That's what I thought, too. I thought we were doing a keeper league.
Yeah, Alex, we had talked about doing a keeper league so that in case there was a lot of turnover because we don't trust these ruffians.
I do. Let's do it.
We talked about doing a dynasty with us 3, but not.
I thought
Not these ingrates.
How about this?
Mm-hmm.
If any viewers out there have any desire to join a dynasty or a keeper
We can do
redraft
both.
league,
I don't even care. We can do both.
reach out. Just reach out regardless. We'll make final decisions, later on as the season comes near.
I've already gotten 2 tweets, and I already know one other person that's down for a Dynasty Listeners League. So
Beautiful.
I mean,
it wasn't even over. So
I'll do one. I'm just saying I think it's a smarter idea to do like a redraft, but it's fine.
If we do league safe and we do turnover where like the 3 teams that come in last get booted or something like that.
Sure.
All right. So that's cool. We're in. If you guys have interest, reach out. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Just join the listener league. Give us thumbs up. Enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a lot of fun as usual. Again, click the thumbs up, click the like button on YouTube. That helps us out quite a bit. We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in a comment or hit us up on Twitter at Emin Milano, at P. Karagianis, and at Alex Henowitz. Thank you again for joining. We'll catch you next time. Good luck this weekend.